Going live. Me. Waiting for the... I mean, you probably have the YouTube page up. Nice. Look at that. That's us.
I'm ready.
Go for it, man.
Alrighty.
Welcome.
Actually, what numbers is in our... How many have we done?
I'm curious.
I really don't... Hold on, let me figure this out. I want to know how many movie reviews we've... Because this is the second of 2022.
Yeah.
This is the 13th episode.
Okay,
13th episode.
Lucky 13.
There we go. This one's going to be it. This is going to be the one that makes us famous. All right, well, welcome to the 13th episode of Into the Movieverse, where today we'll be talking about Looper, a movie that Cody has recommended, and I think this one is definitely worth the watch. We'll get into it, but because we're gonna do a little switcheroo today. We're gonna start talking a little bit more about some like movie news, and talking about some like TV shows and basically just like cinema and film and stuff in general. Before we get into the movies, because like some of that stuff we sort of gloss over it, and we don't dedicate enough time to the actual like movie news as I think we probably should. So to kick off today's podcast, we are going to talk about the Batman.
Very excited.
So I was seeing a few things on like Instagram and stuff about how like they were comparing, I think, Christian Bale to Toby, and then like Ben Affleck. Was it Ben Affleck? It was, I forgot like the lineup, but they were comparing like the different Spider-Mans.
Yeah,
to,
so
like the Batmans.
Toby to Christian Bale, Andrew Garfield to Ben Affleck. I guess I saw that same exact meme. I might have sent it to you. And they were saying how like Toby and Bale are like the legends who are like classics. Then you got Andrew and Ben Affleck, who were great in their roles but given really bad scripts.
Yeah.
And then you have Pattinson and Holland, who are just overall very good at their characters. So yeah, I'm so excited. We have 2 days to go. Batman is a character that, the more interpretations, the better. Just like the comics, there's so many versions. The movies are the same way. The more versions, the better. We get to see different variations of the character. I like where they're going with this, because Keaton is one of my favorites, and we're getting that really gritty Gotham with... I think it's going to be this nice... The problem I had with... I'll put it this way. The problem I had with Ben Affleck's is it was so superhero-y. He's a really good actor, really good Batman, but the scripts and the action was just so over the top. And I liked...
Did he get a standalone?
No.
Yeah, I mean, he was forced into...
Yeah, he was in
the Justice League.
He is apparently saying that his cameo in the upcoming Flash movie is the happiest he's ever been with his portrayal of Batman.
Really?
Yeah, so I'm excited to see him in that. I think, just like Andrew, Ben Affleck would have benefited from another chance. Yeah. And what I loved about Bale's Batman was how grounded it was. No Superman, no superpowers. It was just he was a vigilante, and this one's even better because he's not only a vigilante, it's just a full-on detective. That's what I like. And I love how it's year 2 Batman. He's young, he's vengeful, he's still working at I think he's depressed, he's still working out a lot of problems in his life. He's not just like he's not the calm, collected, mature 45-year-old Bruce Wayne we know from The Dark Knight Returns and from the Ben Affleck movies. That's what I'm excited to see. Is like this is a version of the character we have not yet gotten on the big screen, if you will.
what I do like is the Batmobile that
Oh
Pattinson
yeah,
has.
it's just a
It's all it's basically it's like a what is that, like a Charger or
it's
something?
a
Like,
decked out muscle car with a jet
yeah,
engine, but it's like practical. It's not like some you can tell that it's not, because I've seen a lot of rumors about this, and it's, you know, yeah, he's Batman. Yeah, his family owns this mega corporation, but he can't just take millions of dollars from it and pretend it's like company projects. Like, remember the Bale movies? They're like, oh, it's just yours anyway, and they're just like
yeah.
millions of dollars in funding just disappearing, no one saying a word. You can tell it's like he and Alfred are kind of just trying to do it on their own. I'm curious the
It's
role.
a really sweet car.
Yeah, and speaking of Alfred, I'm really excited to see this version of him. The guy who's playing him is really good. You know, apparently he's gonna play a bigger role in this. I can.
Isn't it like Andy?
I think that's the right first
Andy
name. Probably look up the
Sudeikis or
cast
something?
list.
I'll look so you don't spoil it for yourself.
Yeah, true. Please.
Andy Serkis.
Yeah, man, yeah, like Robert Pattinson has really proved himself in recent movies. I mean, one of our favorite movies is Tenet, and he kills
Yep.
it. And he's just a phenomenal actor who really, like. It's funny because he had this thing where after Twilight, everyone hated him, and then now he's gotten to show his real acting skills, and I just am so excited.
I haven't even watched
You know what we
anything
can
of
do?
his since Twilight. So like the last time he was in Twilight, which was Breaking Dawn Part 2, was 2012. And since then, he's been in like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. He's been in 19 movies since then.
Wow,
And I think The Lighthouse, which was the one that
That's-
was
have you seen
with
that yet?
William Dafoe. No, I haven't.
That's what we should watch next. It's totally out of our like comfort zone, and apparently it's insanely good.
Yeah, and he did a really great job in it too. From
If
what I
if I remember correctly, a lot of that movie is unscripted. But
Interesting.
I've heard amazing things. It's really weird. You've probably seen trailers for it. But
yeah, I've seen like a popular clip.
yeah.
But other than that, I have not seen it. I don't really know. Here, let me look at what you can find it on.
Yeah,
Um,
it's definitely very different. That might be a really good episode 14.
You said I get to pick.
No, okay, you get to pick, but let's
No, I'm
put
kidding.
that on the list.
I'm down for anything.
No,
It's on Prime,
okay. Be down
so
to
we'll have
watch
to see
that.
what that is.
So
Um,
another thing I want to mention about Batman before we move on here is the trailers. For me, and I think after I watch a lot of like YouTube React, you know, so like YouTubers reacting to things, so I watch YouTubers reacting to the Batman trailers. And
Yep.
the majority of people, including myself, I actually haven't seen anyone who hasn't said this. These are some of the Batman has such amazing trailers. Like the music, they're just so well crafted, and my favorite part is they don't spoil anything. We've seen the same scenes pretty much over and over. Like
That's what I was gonna point out. To like when we were kind of going back through like you're showing
Yeah.
me some specific parts, and like they just sort of took the same clips and then like either added
Rearranged them.
music, didn't add music, cut it in a different way.
Yeah, well
Um,
the DC Fandom trailer, the second trailer had a lot of new footage. The first one didn't,
uh-huh.
but it's still not a lot. But I love that because I hate when you get these movies and the trailers like everything. You know, I
Right,
love
and, like,
how
basically
we
just-
are going in blind here.
Why? So I mean, so currently, you know, the ratings of critics are coming through, and we're seeing a 9.0 out of 10 on IMDb and an 86% certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. That's
put
with
that up.
218 reviews there, and then 13,000 reviews on IMDb. What do you think is causing that rating to be so high? What do you think people, without seeing it in just speculation, what is your reason for it being so high?
That it's from what I've heard, and I don't know, I mean, first of all, the description: grim, gritty, and gripping super noir. First of all, I love noir films, so I feel like this is gonna. I'm hoping this stays true to like real, you know, 60s noir films, like 50s, 60s. And I've heard from the spoilers that I've heard, and this is just kind of like a little spoiler, is it doesn't play like a superhero movie or previous Batman movies. It plays like a horror movie. Like it's very different, and maybe that's what everyone wanted was it. You know, something that's very different.
Yeah, it is definitely more gritty. Um, so I mean, I'm interested in seeing what they will do. Um, Batman for me, I'll probably go see this movie. It's not going to be like something. I mean, like I'm not as hyped as you are. I think for this movie, that doesn't mean that like my expectations for it are low. I just, Batman is the whole DC universe. I just struggle with like some people are like so diehard DC, and then they can't get behind Marvel, and then like some people are so diehard Marvel that it's hard to get behind DC. Um, I I think Peacemaker sort of helped me out with DC a little bit, interestingly enough.
Yeah.
So, I mean, even in there, I won't spoil it too much, but like even in that, in the finale,
I remember
the Justice League makes a little cameo, but without Batman, which is interesting. Um, so it's just kind of like what are they going to do next? I think the Peacemaker stuff was a good move, and sort of made DC a little bit more tangible because I mean sometimes their movies could be a little bit underwhelming compared to Marvel. But I have high hopes for Pattinson's Batman. I think people are gonna really want to see more of him, and I think he's gonna portray Batman really well in his own unique way. So I'm excited to see what happens with it.
Yeah, I'll agree with you on that, and I think that I'm one of those people where personally I love DC. I love DC, but I also love Marvel. I'm kind of like I'll take either one. I mean, when it comes to comics, I love DC a lot more. They're just more interesting, more like. But like I said earlier, and I think it's just like Spider-Man, I love new versions of these characters because it just opens up the possibilities. And I think DC thrives. If you look at DC's top-rated, top-selling movies, they're all independent, They don't DC movies don't do well when you do these crazy character mashups. I don't see why. I get why they're trying to follow Marvel because it's like, oh, we have the Justice League. Well, you screwed it up. Warner Brothers, you screwed it up. You didn't give the director a chance to actually do his job, and by the time he did his job, it was too late.
Right.
And so, to give you a little preview, there's rumors that the Flash movie, because it's Flashpoint, which is a comic book thing. In the comic books, basically, in the late teens, 20 teens, the Flash changed history and it altered DC Comics forever, like the future of DC Comics. So I think that's what they're gonna do with the Flash movie. Is he's gonna change everything? And the rumor is
he's just gonna wipe all their mistakes.
Well, because in the comics, Flashpoint was when he goes back and saves his mom and it alters history, and then he tries to undo it, but everything's different. Like he couldn't fix it. So I think that's what they're gonna do with the Flash movie. Which is cool. I kind of wish it was like already like I don't see why I get Flashpoint. I love it. It's one of my favorite comic arcs, but I'm a little annoyed that this is the way they're gonna do it. But because there's rumors that like Keaton will be the the new Batgirl movie that's coming out.
Yep.
There's rumors she's gonna be the new Batman of the DC universe. And I'm like, wait a minute, what are you doing?
Yeah, it's interesting.
So we'll see where that goes. But like I said, I think we've seen from Man of Steel, we've seen from all the Batman movies that DC is fine as standalone superhero movies. Shazam, Aquaman, They don't need to be these giant mashup projects where you make a mess. Let Marvel do that. Like, because Marvel's mashup movies are amazing, and sometimes their solos are a little sucky. So you guys, like, just work on your solo movies. They're always great. Sometimes there's just, you can't, sometimes when there's so many characters on screen, you can't do every single fan delivery and, you know what I mean, and plot point. So it's like,
not as, like, easy for DC as it is for Marvel.
Because the budget, too. Warner Brothers doesn't have nearly as much as Disney. So I think my ending thought in this is I think that Warner Brothers should just realize they have a good thing going with solo superhero movies. They don't need to ruin it or try to make something that they can't afford to with their budget. Because I bet you Batman's going to do fine. I mean, the reviews are coming in really strong. And you know what? Maybe this Batman universe can get its own thing with, like, spin-offs of, like, the different Robins and all that. But leave it to the Batman universe. Don't add Superman. Don't, you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. I love DC so much. I'd love to see an amazing Justice League movie that reminds me of the comics, but they blew it. So it's gonna take, you know, it's gonna take a lot of time for them to get back to that point where I feel comfortable with them going at the Justice League again, because there's some casting choices that are just rough. But yeah, that's my opinion on DC right now.
So you wanted to talk about Spider-Man.
Yeah, I basically wanted to quickly talk about the fact, and I'm pretty sure you saw it, that either it's out now or it's on the way. The Blu-ray edition with over 100 minutes of new footage, including over 20 minutes of the 3 Spider-Man talking and hanging out in movie and on set. And there's new set photos of them taking photos together. All really cool stuff. Just wanted to mention that if anyone's seen it. I don't know if it's out or if it's just preview shots we're seeing, but if you Google it, there's some pretty cool shots of the 3 of them just hanging out, laughing, making like they make the 3 major Spider-Man memes, you know, like the pointing and all that.
Right.
So.
Let me look it up. Blue Rat, I typed in. I don't know. I mean, are you gonna get it? Is that something you're gonna pick up and watch, or?
Oh, I feel like I will down the road, but I just thought it would be cool to mention because if you look it up
Blu-ray bonus.
There's like over 100 extra minutes. So, and there's some really good shots, some really cool. You know, I just want to see the 3 of them interact more. I could listen to them talk for hours. Like the 3 Peter Parkers just talking about their adventures together. Like, the one thing I missed was I wish they did the thing where, like, Tom was confused and his eyes shrunk, and then the other 2 were like, how are your eyes doing that? you know, when they zoom?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So...
Last thing...
do you want to talk about?
Well, we were just going to say, last thing is we're going to have a new segment starting probably next episode.
That's what I was going to talk about.
Yeah. It's going to be a snack segment where we're going to talk about, you know, every episode we're going to have a new snack that is recommended for movie viewing. Probably going to start off with only things you can find in a movie theater. And we'll just do like a quick 5-minute review of, you know, helping everyone. And we'll do a cool ranking system and, you know, help everyone find.
Yeah, we'll get a tier list going.
Yeah, good movie time snacks. Yeah.
What I find interesting about movie theater snacks is, like, the snack selection in terms of candy is probably the most random snack, like, candy selection you could find, in my opinion.
It's
like
it's a mashup. Yeah.
Snow caps. Like, if you're walking down a candy aisle and like you're looking at,
you're not gonna go, ooh, snow caps.
You're not gonna go like pick the snow caps.
Yeah.
I just think, you know, so there's the staple, like, what do you got? The Sour Patch Kids as a staple, right? Twizzlers, I think, are there.
Oh, yeah.
Like probably M&M's.
Skittles
are there.
Skittles. I love Skittles in a movie. Yeah.
Yeah, like, so there's just some really interesting choices that movie theaters make And I wonder if there's like a theory behind that, like why they pick certain candies, if that's like what they think is going to sell well. Because there's no way people are going out of there. Like they could be losing money on the snow caps, just purchasing those.
The snow
To be
caps,
honest.
the snow cap CEO is like, what is going on? We're losing sales. Yeah, and
My actual like what I get most of the time when I go to the movie theater is the chocolate covered cookie dough. Whatever
yeah.
those
See,
are
I
called.
can't. I don't like candy at the movie. I like a large Coca-Cola in a popcorn covered in a pool of butter, in like a pound of salt. But I'm thinking that yeah, maybe it'd be interesting if we start with like the most unheard of or out of the blue
We'll have to
snacks.
go to our
Yeah,
we'll have to
yeah.
go to our local movie theater together.
Well,
and
when
just
when
take
we
a
go see
photo.
Batman, when I go see
Well, I have to
Batman,
get
I'll
tickets
look
for that.
around. Me too. And yeah, we'll look around, and also we can probably look up online. Like we can look up movie theater snacks that like you don't see here, but in other parts of the country or the world, and we can just order them. You know, it can be really fun, and it'll be like a quick 5 minute segment. You know, so I think that's really interesting.
Yeah, I mean people have done this, but obviously our
Yeah.
opinion matters more.
I think
Like
most of the time it's a
Dots,
sponsor thing, but
dude, Dots. Who's buying Dots? Dots is probably like I'm gonna say right now, I don't even have to eat Dots to know that that's like an F tier candy.
which one is Dots?
Dots is like they're like jelly.
Oh, these things? Yeah. Why would you do that? I just put it on stream.
Like who the hell is gonna eat Dots?
Not a lot of people.
Nobody.
I mean,
What is it?
they're just
Like,
candy gummy
what's it trying
drops.
to be?
They're
What's it trying to be?
trying to be dots, bro. There's sour. Okay, there's sour dots. I might be able to get on board with that. But still, I'd get sour gummy worms. You
Like
know?
okay, so I'm just looking at this this thing right now, and I mean we won't because I want to talk about the TV show stuff next.
Yeah.
So, this is probably not a R. Like this is just random. Raisinets, I think. Those are I like Raisinets. My go-to is Milk Duds sometimes, but
Why would you want a milk
when you're
dud? They're so
sitting in a-
bland.
they're not bland. I like caramel. So,
Ugh.
but when you're sitting in a movie theater, like in terms of a movie theater candy, it does not because you have to chew a lot. It's not something that you can sit there and enjoy quietly. Like you're really chewing on it because it's so sticky.
I like Whopper. I like the Whoppers.
The Whoppers are good too.
Yeah, the Whoppers
are
are good. Actually, my favorite though, is what do you call them? White box, green lettering, chocolate filled with like a mint. What are they?
Junior mints.
Junior mints are so. Oh my god, those are like my maximum.
Same thing with Mike and
craving.
Ike's too. Mike and Ike's are like dots, but in pill form.
But junior mints are the best.
Goobers are a good one.
Goobers.
And some of the when you think about like seeing like Goobers, Milk Duds,
They're all the same.
Dots, like, but they give off that like retro vibe. Like they're old candies, right?
Oh yeah,
Like,
but I mean,
look at that packaging.
dude, how
That
old?
packaging is like old.
Yeah, but they just keep that packaging because they can. But like Twizzlers were made in 1845, so.
Well, Twizzlers are different. Twizzlers has modern packaging now.
Yeah, but I think it's just because they're so big. It's like
Goobers hasn't updated their packaging since
because they don't get customer revenue. they're like I think there's like when it comes to businesses like that, I think it's like Twizzlers like, okay, we're popular enough that if we changed our packaging, people would still recognize us. But if you're Goober and you change,
what is that? Turkey Twizzler? What?
I don't know. But if you change your packaging and you're a company like Goober, and it's like no one will know you existed. It's like the people that do know you will be like, where'd they go? I lost my Goobers.
My dad likes Goober. I mean, Goobers are good.
If you like Goobers,
They're
are
good.
you a goofy Goober?
I mean, you're looking at like an old person like sitting in the movie. They're like, "Can I get a box of Goobers, please?"
Can I get a box of Goobers and some Twizzlers? Speaking of,
All right, so
movie
TV
time.
shows.
Yeah.
TV shows, real quick. TV shows that I think you should watch. So if you have Apple TV, which I don't know if you probably don't, Cody, But if you have Apple TV out there,
Mm-hmm.
um,
Think we
good
do.
bingeable stuff on Apple TV that we're sort of that I've been watching. So I finished up Ted Lasso, which has season 1 and season 2. Ted Lasso has been pretty good. I like the storyline of it. I think that movie has a good balance between like comedy,
You
and sort of like some he addresses like some stuff that like I don't know, like some TV shows probably don't really address all that often, but it's really good. Um, and Jason Sudeikis is a really good actor too. After watching this, I just really love his character. And then Severance, which is fairly recent, has 3 episodes right now, which is a unique concept. Ted Lasso is pretty popular, so I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if people watched it already. But Severance, which just came out, if you're like looking at it and you're thinking, oh, okay, like maybe I'll watch it, maybe I won't. This is a unique concept where people go to work, but their personal life and their work life is mentally separated in their brain. They get a procedure that is irreversible. So every time they go into work, they go into like a work mode, and then every time they leave work, they go back into like a personal life mode, and they don't remember what happened during that work day.
Oh, so it's like two personalities, a work one and a normal one.
Yeah,
So it's like you
yeah,
turn off your personal brain when you go to work.
yeah. And you know who directs it?
Who?
Ben Stiller.
Really?
Isn't that really interesting?
Yeah.
Like when I saw that Ben Stiller directed it, I was like, that's really interesting. And the
It's
whole concept of it is really well thought out. It looks like it's in the future, but it doesn't feel like it's in, like they have old technology, like you can see the computer there.
yeah.
Um but it's a very clean space. Like the room that they're in for that photo is literally just those 4 cubicles, and that's pretty much it.
It's funny because it's kind of like he's sending the idea of like, well, that's kind of how companies want you to be. They want you to come to work, clock in, and just turn off your personal brain. When you think about it,
Yeah.
they want you to just ignore
And it's
life, and so
it's a dark like dark I want to say thriller. I mean, I don't really know if it's a thriller, but it's definitely like on the darker side of like TV. Um, and then Peacemaker, like I was talking about before, Peacemaker is really good. Favorite character out of that is Vigilante. I think Vigilante is pretty cool. And then, yeah, I mean, some of the funnier stuff that's recently came back, like Space Force, recently came back. Have you watched Space Force before?
no.
You haven't watched? You should check it out.
I don't like Steve Carell's stuff.
You don't like Steve Carell?
I like his older stuff, but like, I'm just not, dude. I don't watch a lot of shows really. I don't really have to.
I like a good TV show. I mean,
Yeah,
Book of Boba Fett just finished. That was like
I watch
amazing.
NCIS.
But like so
that's
now
it.
modern TV is becoming so cinematic, and there's so much more going into a modern TV show now than
I haven't
than
not
they were in the
seen.
past.
Like recently, actually, what just released and it's still releasing one episode at a time is we have been watching Pam and Tommy, and that is one of my top things I've seen.
Then what the heck is Pam and Tommy?
It's about Pamela Anderson and Tommy Lee and their sex tape.
Oh, that's cool.
It was the first. You don't know about that?
No.
Really?
Pull it up. Pull it up on the thing. So
Tommy Lee from Motley Crue.
Tommy Lee Jones, or is that
No,
an actor?
Tommy Lee from Motley Crue, and Pamela Anderson.
No, I don't.
She was a playmate. This was the first celebrity sex tape that ever released, and it was like about why it happened and like the events that took place after.
Huh.
He's really famous. He's the drummer for Motley Crue.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Well, she was on Baywatch, so it's about their see, like you can see, she looks like just like Pamela Anderson in real life, which is crazy.
Pamela Anderson.
And look who's playing Tommy Lee.
Seth Rogen's in it.
Yep, but look who's playing Tommy Lee.
Who is it?
It's the guy who plays It's Sebastian Stan,
What?
Winter Soldier.
Dude, I did not recognize him.
Yeah, I know. He does such a good
I
job
see
as
him
Tommy
more
Lee.
in that little in that left photo, the middle left photo. I can see it.
Here's another shot right here.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it was a really big deal when it happened. But yeah, really good show. Because Seth Rogen, but it's a long story. Basically, I don't want to talk too much about it and spoil it, but it's a really good show. So.
Huh. All right, let's get into Looper now. We've
Yeah, let's do that.
gone long enough. It's been about 30 minutes of
Yeah.
that accumulated start stuff, so now we can wrap it all up with Looper. Looper came out in 2012. For those who don't know,
Yes.
and
Netflix.
Looper, I want to say, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. I want to say it's almost like Tenet, but it's not at the same time.
I mean, it's a completely different concept.
But Tenet, the stuff that they did. Well, I guess yeah, because that's technically not the past because that's happening in real time.
It's just another movie with a time travel element. Because Tenet's going backwards in time. This is just like someone from the future. You know.
Yeah. So essentially, you explain it.
So we watched Tenet. Tenet is about in the future there is the mafia, and they are the only ones who use time travel because it is extremely illegal and outlawed in the future. Now, when they want someone dead and gone, they they handcuff the person and they time travel them back to the past, 30 years in the past, and someone in the past, a looper, like an assassin, kills the person that the mafia sent back and disposes of the body in the past. That way, in the past, they're disposing a body that doesn't technically exist, and in the future, the person's literally gone. So that's what this movie is about. It's about the loopers, about a specific looper, and his journey. So basically, as I explained in the movie, when you're a looper, you get a time in the mail, you go to this place, you have your gun out, the person appears from the future, you kill them, dispose of the body.
Yep.
And that's the basic concept of it.
I'm pretty sure I watched this movie with subtitles, and I think that definitely helps.
Yeah, but they explain everything really well. It's really not that bad.
They do explain it really well.
Yeah.
So this movie, I thought it was really good. Let me get I gotta put the movie sheet here. I just want to see. Our other time one has a 9.2. I think Looper it's up there for me. I think it's a really good movie. It's really well thought out.
Yeah. Good concept.
I think the stuff Joseph Gordon-Levitt, he's not really an actor that I wouldn't go out of my way to watch. He
has a lot of good stuff. There's one.
He does a lot of good stuff.
There's one where he's where he rides a bike making deliveries. What's that movie called?
The one on a bike.
He's
deliveries.
Well, he's in the Batman. He's in Inception. Is it The Lookout? No.
I haven't watched a lot of Joseph Gordon-Levitt movies. I think I've not where he stars.
Premium Rush. It's got 6.5 out of 10, 75%. It's got 74% Rotten Tomatoes. He's basically he's a bike messenger, but then things get out of hand. He gets a really dangerous job. It's a good movie. Here, I'll put I don't know if there's a screenshot. It was actually one of my favorites when it came out.
Huh.
I think it's worth a watch one day. Add that to our little list. One day. Add that to our little list.
What the hell?
Put it on there.
Premium Rush.
It's a really good movie.
All right, if you say so.
I mean, Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 74. That's not bad for Rotten Tomatoes. I like him a lot as
Is
an
that,
actor.
well, 74 what?
Percent.
Yeah, but like 74 what? Certified
Percent.
fresh? Is it just a red tomato?
It's a little mushy. Certified fresh. 74% certified fresh. It's on the stream right now.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
It's 2012. Look at
60%
that.
audience score?
Look at that. 2012. He was just pumping out movies that year. And Batman. You know?
He's in something else too, I'm pretty sure, on Apple TV.
I think... okay.
Mr. Corman or something like that. I haven't checked it out yet, but
A little side note here. We're getting a little sidetracked. But I was going to say, I think a fun episode would be reviewing, like, the worst Liam Neeson action movie we could find. Like, the lowest rated Liam Neeson action movie. Because you know what the funny thing is? He can't fight, so it's just a million camera cuts. Like, a singular punch and the camera moves 5 times. That'd be really
I just
funny.
spell his name.
Or the most low-budget Bruce Willis movie, stuff like that, you know?
Oh, here we go.
But let's move on to Looper here. We're not going to go over the reviews just yet.
Yo, how did... I'm not gonna even... I like the set design a lot. And it's interesting because this movie took place... They were getting people from 2042 or something like that, right? Like, it was set so far in the future, and then they were... I forgot what the time space was.
Wait, what movie? Looper?
Yeah.
So they had... The Mafia exists 30 years in the future. So they sent... Besides the people they send back to get killed 30 years in the past, they sent back one man to run the operation of the Loopers in the past.
Right, but what was the time...
30 years difference. Oh, when it took place?
Like, specifically, yeah.
Yeah. 2044. So 2044 and 2074.
Oh, okay.
And then we also get to
It's
see...
interesting because... What? Sorry.
We also get to see a version of him that didn't kill his older self. And, you know, we saw him throughout the next 30 years living his life and what happens.
Right.
Yeah.
I just, like, so what's interesting is the way that they portray, like, that future. Because, I mean, it's in the future for us still. So it's just interesting that they made it, like, you know, they're using, like, a blunderbuss, which is, like, you know, sort of like a piratey. At least, it's in Sea of Thieves.
It's a real thing.
So I assume it's like a, you know...
It's just a shotgun that really doesn't have anything else besides the barrel and the trigger. You know?
Yeah.
It's just simple, easy, quick, can't miss. That's why they use it, so that way they know for sure when their guy appears, you know.
Right.
I like it. I like how the Loopers have their own signature thing.
I think just everything was really well thought out. Like, the movie it didn't get boring.
Yeah.
Like, at any point, you know, it's not like I was pulled away from it in any way. Like, it was very engaging.
And there's a lot of cool setups that I don't think you even noticed. Like, like, do you remember when he meets the older version of himself and he's like, "Oh, who's the Rainmaker?" And the older version of Joe is like, "Oh, we heard that, like, he has a synthetic jaw and he saw his mom get shot."
Yeah.
And that's what
I've seen.
And it's young Joe was like, "That's what's gonna happen if I don't do something."
I think the whole sequencing of the movie was really well thought out.
Yeah, and it only had a
It's
budget
easy
of
to
$30
understand.
million.
Yeah, I feel like this movie got robbed a little bit in terms of...
Its budget.
Well, you said what? It was... How much budget? 50?
30 million. 176
They-
box office.
I got a 66 million box office.
Hmm?
Oh, that's USA only. So only in the USA only, they like doubled what they spent on it.
Yeah, in total 176,000. 176 million.
176.
Yeah, the producer's like.
That's my entire salary.
Yeah.
Looking at the reviews for it, it is. I mean, I agree.
Let's look at that.
31.2% at 8, 12.8 at 9, and 12.2 at 6.
Oh, we're looking at
averaging a 7
good.
point, or the median being 8 and the mean being 7.4.
See, what I like about this movie is the budget tells me it was just going to be one of those, mediocre action movies,
Yeah.
and it just kind of like Jaws or something, where it was just kind of blew everyone's expectations out of the water, literally with Jaws.
I think though they. Sorry, I'm getting Discord chats from my school group.
Yeah. Well, what I like about
Gotta
this
love
is
those school groups.
when you look at the demographics, it's pretty all even. Everything in the sevens. It looks like pretty much 7.4 to 7.6.
Yeah, everybody was
for,
on the same page.
Except for females under 18.
Um,
It's weird how from females 18 to 29, it's 7.6. Oh, because only 11 people under 18 female rated at 6.5.
what?
You see that?
11 people?
Yeah. But then look at every other category.
On that.
Yeah, look at that. Oh, that's so weird.
Well, this movie did not resonate with.
Well, there was only 11 of them. That makes and then look at female 18 to 29, 12,000. So that's why 11 is so weird. They don't have enough.
Well, especially since this movie's been out since 2012.
Yeah, they just don't have enough people in that category box to actually get like a real accurate number. But
Well,
yeah.
I mean, even for males too. Yeah, the guys were probably like, "Hey, this is cool,"
Well,
but still low numbers there.
Oh, that's why it's low numbers under 18. Everyone, when this movie came out, they would have been, if they were 18, they would have been 8 years old. So who's, they're not going to join IMDb now and go review it.
We could do that.
I'm just saying that's probably why.
It is interesting that IMDb has that section for
available.
Like, who's going in there and writing reviews and leaving ratings? Like,
yeah, and why would I trust someone's review if they're like 15? It was really cool.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt's hot.
He's so sexy. Oh, that's another.
Is that our interpretation of females under 18?
I think it was just. I was just doing a kid. And another thing you can say that I wanted to point out was you had mentioned the nose being weird at the beginning for him, but it actually I really like how they did that because I knew who was playing his older self, and then so when I saw the movie, I was like, oh my god, I see what they're doing here. It's pretty good.
Well, hold on.
And I actually like the way his character looks with.
Well, this movie's been out for so long that we could talk about it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm looking at Bruce Willis's nose.
That's a sentence. I am currently looking at Bruce Willis's nose. If you look up Looper posters, they both have their own official poster side by side, so you can.
I need to see.
Oh, Emily
Looper
Blunt
knows.
too.
See, Looper knows. It's something that has been noticed by multiple people.
Well, yeah, because you're altering the face of a very famous actor. It's like.
Dude, that is so weird.
But it looks really good. Like, it serves its purpose really well.
It changes his face
completely.
So much.
Yeah. But it works.
Why does Bruce Willis have a flat nose? Like, why does it do that?
Hey. Talk about my boy like that.
Why does his nose do that?
Well, it just works for his face and you never notice it.
I don't think he necessarily looks like a young Bruce Willis.
I can see it.
You could see it, but it's not like...
Yeah. Look at the poster I'm about to put on stream.
Okay.
You're not going to, because it's not there.
He definitely, like, his... Okay, so they fattened up his face a little bit.
Yeah, there's probably some other changes besides the nose.
Gave him a little bit more of, like protruded lips and stuff.
Yeah, they pretty much
Um,
match their faces up.
Give him a little bit more of a forehead because Bruce has a big forehead.
What you just said?
Well, he's just all forehead, right? I mean, he's bald, so.
That's just not infinite forehead. That's
Okay, so they put a young Bruce Willis next to the
Look.
Looper
Here.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt. And it looks
Yeah, they're pretty close.
If somebody was like, "Oh, let's cast a young Bruce Willis," like, okay,
I think that's pretty good. I think that's.
I'd say, yeah.
Yeah. So.
Okay, yeah. Let me see this.
Yeah, it's this is definitely one of those movies where you definitely wouldn't suspect the budget it had, because the majority of the effects, like, there's not a lot of FX here. There's not.
We could remake this movie.
There's not a lot of CGI.
We could redo this whole movie.
Besides the city landscapes, I think that's the only really CGI budget. But wait, I'm sorry. Also, the effects of the TK.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is made by.
Yeah,
let's look up this director. Made by Ryan Johnson. Oh. Okay, we don't like him, but.
Wait, what do you mean?
I'm just messing. Remember, he was the one who kind of ruined the newest second Star Wars movie. But no, but you were forgetting something. He made Knives Out. He made Knives Out. Okay, that was really good.
Yeah. So why did he fail on Star Wars?
I don't know. Well, it's because they
Rogue One. Rogue One wasn't that bad.
No, Rogue One wasn't bad at all. The thing was with the second Star Wars was they switched directors, so
Yeah, I know.
The whole direction of the movie just didn't make sense.
And then he decided to change it all up and ruin everything. Ugh.
Yeah, so and then let's talk. And then you see Rotten Tomatoes Looper 93% and certified 82% audience score.
So, since I want what do you rate this movie?
Oh, I'm going first. That's how it's gonna be.
Yeah, I want you to go first. I'm scared.
Why are you scared?
Let's go first.
Okay. Let's see. I love the costumes. I love the acting. I love the cast. I love the concept. I've watched this movie
300 times.
3 or 4 times this year. Just soaking it in. The thing is, like, I have no reason to give it a low score because there's nothing I'd change. And there's nothing I'm confused about. I like everything in this movie.
Yeah. This is the first time that, like, I feel like with a movie, I'm satisfied. There's nothing. Yeah, I'm satisfied. Yeah. There's nothing I would really want to change about the movie. Like, it was a really well done movie.
I'm going to give this. It's like I feel guilty giving movies high ratings on our podcast because it's like I don't want to put them on this pedestal that's going to be.
It's personal opinion.
Yeah, I know, but like I don't want.
It gets averaged out with what I say.
I know, but like I don't want them on this pedestal that has to be like, that's going to be like the scale that has to be broken by another movie. Because then, let's say I give it a 9, and then we see this movie and we're like, it's a 9. I'm like, but is it though? Is it as good as Looper? Is it though? Like.
Well, okay, so take the time concept movies that we've done, right? So the only other one that we've done with the time concept is Tenet, right?
This is way less confusing.
Tenet, we did a 9.2 based on it being a really cool concept.
So that movie was so atmospheric, though. That's why.
Atmospheric writing.
Yeah.
Like, yes, it was confusing because you had to watch it a couple times to really understand. Maybe if we had subtitles on and like could understand, But
yeah.
So I think these two are a little bit more comparable than comparing it to Spider-Man or whatever.
Okay.
So yeah.
Looper's fate has been decided.
by you first.
By me and me alone. I am giving this a confident 8.5.
8.5?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm giving it a 10. No.
Oh my god!
I'm leaning towards an 8 on this movie.
Okay, well, let's settle at a 8 point.
8.3.
Okay, you got it. Sold.
Sold to the
Highest bidder. Yeah, that works.
yeah, 8.3 I think is a happy rating for this movie.
Yeah, very much so. I think that's fair. It's 10 points lower than Rotten Tomatoes.
He's trying to be like Christopher Nolan. So,
Yeah. We're 1 point
Ryan
higher than the audience score.
I think this movie, it's I would consider this a favorite.
Yeah, me
Would
too.
you consider this a favorite?
Yeah.
So this is definitely one of those movies that, like, if you have free time on the weekend or something, we think you should go and spend your hour and a half watching this movie.
Easily. And if you're like, this is one of those movies where, like, a friend's like, I haven't seen anything cool recently. I'd be like, dude, you have to see this movie. What do you think is our final thing I want to discuss is, like, we're giving it an 8.3. Rotten Tomatoes critics give it a 9.3.
Yep.
What do you think is holding us? What's holding you personally from going to where they went on that score?
I just think it's
think
not there cinematically for me.
I think their chart's different. They're not going. You know what I mean?
Also, that's taking into consideration, like, a bunch of,
yeah. But
how many people reviewed that? 271 people, and they rate theirs out of 5 or 10 or 4 or do B plus. Like, they do all these different weird things that, like,
yeah, that's true.
Rotten Tomatoes has to sort out and determine based on that, like, what they think it is.
So do you think that? Okay, so 8.3 is fair, and I think we're going off that because, we give it an 8.3, but we also agree that everything here is done perfectly. We wouldn't change anything, and I think that might be the key. I think that might be our qualifier for a favorite, a movie we just we wouldn't change anything about. It's just a overall,
Yeah.
I think that should be our reasoning for a favorite, is we wouldn't change anything. It's just good.
Yeah, I think it's a movie that we enjoy, and, like, going back to, like, Power of the Dog, because I'm just looking at this.
Woo, that was so good. I love that.
Right, we say that movie was so good, but, like, are you gonna go back and watch it? Or I'm satisfied with a one round.
You know what? I'm actually getting to a point where the idea of watching it again is actually, it'd be a long. That's the thing with that movie, is it's like it's long and it's slow, so it's like, would I watch it again? Yes, but I'd have to be very confident I'm, like, literally nothing else going on. There's, like, nothing else I can do with my time. Okay, so, like, let's say this. If you want to be a favorite, you have to pass 2 things. 1, you have to be rewatchable. We want to watch you more than once. 2, you have, we wouldn't change anything about you. I think those are fair qualifiers for a favorite.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to do something real quick here.
Yeah, write that down.
In our little sheet thing. I'm going to move this down a few notches. So, repeat that again.
Qualifiers for a favorites movie. 1, we wouldn't change anything about it. 2, we'd easily rewatch it.
Rewatchable. Yeah. Okay. I can agree with that.
Yeah, and that doesn't mean we don't like a movie, because, like, Power of the Dog, it might not be a favorite, but I still think if you're into westerns, that's a must see.
Yeah,
that's a really
sure.
I think honestly,
even movies that we've held so high, like Shang-Chi, with an 8.3, that's not a favorite just because it's a hero movie.
Yeah,
and we're not really gonna watch that again.
I did watch it a second time.
How dare you?
That's not a favorite. No, I'm actually watching it the second time made me realize how much it actually was pretty good. I remember Power of the Dog won a lot of awards in our award show. I haven't thought about that movie in so long that you mentioning it I'm just like in my head's like, wow, that was a really good movie.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Same thing with Dune. Like Dune, we did.
Beautiful
Yes.
masterpiece.
Um,
I watched that again.
like it. Yeah, that movie. That movie's like, all right, we got to sit down like with a friend and like do it and watch it and stuff.
You put that? Is that a favorite, Dune?
Yeah, it's a favorite.
Yeah. I can't wait for the next one.
So update our little ITN 2022 rankings.
Yeah, let's. Here we go.
So we're starting off, 2022 with. We've only done 2 movies in the course of 3 months, but bear with us.
We're getting there.
Sorting out schedules. Once we graduate, time will be a little different.
Looper 8.3.
So
look at that.
The next movie. So I found this movie because I was telling you before I wanted to do this like underrated.
Yeah,
movie.
Something neither of us have seen.
I found this Jake Gyllenhaal movie.
Yeah.
Called Enemy, from 2013.
Okay, I'll put it on stream.
Look it up. Let me get the Rotten Tomatoes.
A mild-mannered college professor discovers a look-alike actor and delves into the other man's private affairs.
Yeah. Whoa. So it has a 71%. Derpy Gaming asks, "Are we doing predictions for the Batman movie?"
We did. We can go over that again if you want.
Yeah, we can go over it again.
We basically said, well, my expectations were, we didn't say this earlier, but I was like really hoping that we get more than one villain, at least, by the end, we get little spoilers as to who's next. I'm really hyped for that movie. I'm so excited. We only got two days to go.
Yeah, I mean, Batman's more of Cody's thing. I think that Pattinson is going to surpass expectations. Just seeing how he's seen it. All right, well, so give us
no spoilers.
Don't spoil it. But like, yeah. All right, if you were to rate it against what IMDb is saying, which is, what was it again?
8.
Let's get some
interaction. Here, I got Rotten Tomatoes I can put up. This is Rotten Tomatoes.
Good community interaction. All right, yeah. IMDb gave a 9 out of 10. So what would you say, Derpy, is your rating for Batman without giving any spoilers, just straight up raw?
Yeah, I'm
raw rating.
I hope it's worth it. Yeah, I'm just excited to see something different, So,
let's see if he's still with us. While we wait for him to respond, Enemy. It seems pretty interesting. I looked up underrated movies just to see like what was out there. Ooh, okay.
9.
Yeah.
Ending
9.
Okay. Yeah, ending drags a little. Yeah, well, it's definitely a longer movie. I think it's the longest Batman movie that we've had. But a 9, that's awesome. So yeah, all around, I've been only hearing good things. I'm really excited. I'm gonna go see it Saturday, so I got 2 days to go.
Where are you gonna go see it?
Bowtie, near me.
Should I try to go get tickets as well? Should we try to coordinate something?
Yes, we'll have to talk about that later.
A combination of Batman storylines.
Ooh, it's like, okay, yeah, different. I'm imagining you mean different comic book like storylines, different.
Weren't they saying like? I think I was talking to my girlfriend's brother about this, or maybe it was you. I don't remember. I think it was him, because he was saying that Pattinson tried out a bunch of different Batman suits, like to see what he fit into the best. I think.
Really, I did not know that.
So he tried on like literally like all the different suits. And so he can sort of come up with his own suit that made the most sense. Which is why you sort of see like a little bit of a mix between like the various suits.
Yeah. I like that. I like how it looks.
He did his research.
Yeah.
And I think psychological.
Yes. Awesome. That was okay. So earlier on, I was saying how I had heard from spoilers a while ago that it played like a psychological thriller. So that's good to hear.
Also, Derpy, how did you hear about us? Because we've been doing this for like a while now,
Yeah.
and I think you're like the first, the first person besides these bots that come in here,
Yeah.
that interact with us. So this is pretty exciting for us.
7.
Zodiac meets Taxi Driver. 7
And
meets
7.
Zodiac meets...
I haven't seen that movie in a long time. I'm so
I
excited.
think I watched Zodiac. That's
See,
pretty
like, because what you're saying, Derpy,
good.
is
Sweet. There you
it's-
go. See, look, Cody. The titles are working out for us after all. Would you look at that? Thank you, Derpy. This makes us very. This
yeah,
makes
okay.
this makes our March 2nd. What is it? Wednesday night. So much better.
Thank you for tuning in. But yeah, psychological thriller, that's exactly what I was hoping for. And detective film, that's what I really wanted. I didn't want like a superhero Batman again. Yeah, I wanted something different. Something...
Yeah, it's a different take on Batman.
And that's
for
why I
sure.
like his suit, is it's so realistic, like gritty. He's got all his stuff, you know, all his pouches.
Oh, thanks for the sub.
Thank
man.
you, much appreciated.
Appreciate it. We're trying to work out some of the kinks here, you know, and get things sorted out, and
Yeah.
hopefully we're trying to provide some better content, because you know we sort of go on these little tangents and try to keep the conversation flowing, but
Yeah, yeah.
Gotham is character itself. Interesting.
You don't mean...
I think they're taking a lot of. No, I think he's saying that Gotham itself,
yeah,
like the city is.
But actually, it's funny you mentions that, because in recent comics, there was a character named Gotham. Is it Captain Gotham or just Gotham?
Gotham.
No, his name was Gotham. And there was Gotham.
No,
and,
I just every
was-
time I look at Gotham.
what was it, Gotham Man and Gotham Girl? I think it was. I doubt that's what you mean by that. I imagine you're saying that, you know, the atmosphere is just so rich that it's its own thing, which that's what the trailers look like too. It reminds me of the Keaton Batman, if you've seen that, Derpy. It reminds me of that, just like that aesthetic that is just so unique. You know, that's one thing about the Christian Bale movies, was Gotham was just like a city they filmed in and renamed. You know, I think the first of Christian Bale's movie had that aesthetic, but like, do you remember like The Dark Knight Rises? It was just like a generic city. There wasn't much to it.
Yeah.
So I'm really hoping, that's
I
what we're getting there.
like the grittier Batman, so I think that's why like I resonate more with the Christian Bale
Yeah.
Batman versus like some of the other ones.
Well, I think the only reason that Keaton's not Keaton, Keaton's is gritty, Bale's is gritty, but the only reason that Ben Affleck's is less gritty is because he's older now. You know, he's matured. He's like in his 40s Batman.
But I think he tries to be gritty. Like,
Well, when he puts the suit on, yeah.
he's not inherently gritty like Christian Bale is.
Yeah, no, I
But-
get that.
Or like, I mean, Robert Pattinson, he has the jawline. You know, that makes him gritty right off the bat.
The jawline. It makes all the difference.
It really does. I mean,
Yeah.
you know. And I mean, we'll just have to watch it, and then probably like literally right after we watch that, if we plan on doing it together, we'll probably just hop on and do a podcast like straight away.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I'm so excited.
I mean, since you're gonna go see it so soon, I could try to like we could just do that movie like next and just pop on and do it. We don't have kids, so
Yeah, that's okay.
I swear to God.
Very dark though. It's
Okay,
good to hear.
I swear, if I go to the movie theater again and I
Oh.
get some person that brings their kids to the movie theater, I'm going to be so pissed.
Yeah.
Every time I go to the movie theater, and this is why I have not gone to the movie theater for so long until Spider-Man No Way Home, is because every time I go, somebody always brings their kids.
That was
Like,
Yeah, I was gonna say that was like
ugh.
we had our Spider-Man episode, and that was like the biggest thing. Is you're like, I can't believe there was kids in my theater.
Like, I just, I don't, like, okay,
No,
yeah, bring your
probably
kids,
not.
like, whatever, but like,
You
come
also
on.
You also went to a really late showing. Not late as in like the night. I meant late as in like weeks wise.
Yeah, because I don't. I mean,
So
okay.
the
So if
parents
I were
were
to go
like,
to if I were to go to Batman for this showing so soon, it's gonna be like it's
they're
gonna be
gonna
so
find you.
full.
They're gonna
It's
find you.
it's I don't necessarily go to theaters
Yeah.
like right after the film is dropped because I'm not a huge fan of like going to those big crowds. Like I just like to go in the movie theater, hit the snack line, and then um, hit the theater and relax. Very 1 year Batman, no trust in the
That is
system.
awesome. Yeah, that's exactly what I was hoping for. Like I love. I think you like the Arkham
They're
games too,
rewriting
right?
it. They're rewriting it. I played the Arkham
That's
Batman.
what I wanted from this movie was Arkham because I don't know if you the guy who voices Batman in the Arkham games is like my favorite Batman voice actor. But just in general, that Batman is one of my favorites. So I was really hoping we get Arkham vibes from this movie. So from what you're telling me, Derpy, like literally everything that I hoped was gonna happen, or the aesthetic of this movie is there. So
Yeah, I'll try to get Cody like live on
well, we can do
camera,
if
freaking
you
out.
we have this thing on our Instagram page where we do like a 60-second movie review, but we only do it for movies we don't feel they need a full podcast. So maybe we can do like just a quick out of the
Or, like,
theater
yeah,
Batman review, before the podcast. Like, yeah, that
it's
might
still
be
like
good.
a 60. Like I mean, that serves more of like a movie that I you don't necessarily want to see, or I don't necessarily want to see.
Yeah, but it might be
Um,
good to get something out there day one or
oh
day
yeah,
two,
like we
even
need to
small.
like hop on this and like
So
milk it for sure. I mean, well, coming from like
missing our chance with
so
Spider-Man.
you're like it's two opposite sides of the spectrum for us. Like you're the guy that is like so like comic book, like what you're talking about when it comes to Batman. And then here I am, the guy that's like Christian Bale Batman, and like
Christian Bale.
like I am that side of the spectrum. So like we're kind of covering a good base here, um, of viewership. Like there's definitely gonna be people that are like, oh yeah, I read all the comics, like I know about
Yeah.
this Batman and that Batman, and then there's the guys that are gonna be like, hey, look, another Batman movie. Oh,
Okay, I like that. I mean, I was kind of hoping we get to see. Well, I don't know. I'll have to see how it plays out. Um, I don't know. I don't
well,
know.
definitely look.
Well,
All right,
maybe
we're,
it's
we're
maybe
gonna have to we're gonna have to go see it. We're
yeah.
gonna have
I was gonna
to.
say maybe it's like the Andrew Garfield thing, where in No Way Home he was in the Spider-Man suit because that was his phase of his life. Still, he was more, he wasn't hanging out as Peter Parker a lot. He was still Spider-Man a lot. So maybe that's the thing with this Batman Year One is he just spends the majority of his time as Batman. I haven't you've seen it, so I wouldn't know, but that's my guess. I'm also guessing no Joker, although who knows, a teaser or something.
Well, even like for them to even recast Joker again, like, well,
It would have to be like the second or third
isn't
movie.
Jared Leto getting another Joker thing?
Please don't. Please don't. No, please
Let me
don't.
look it up.
I beg
Let me
you.
look it up. Let me look it up.
Oh God.
Isn't he doing another?
No.
I think he is. I think he's doing another.
Last thing I heard about him was he has Morpheus.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I
I
don't
thought
know.
he was coming back.
And Morpheus just doesn't seem interesting to me at all, to be honest with you. Morbius, Dr.
No,
Morbius, was it?
Morbius. No,
Yeah.
I'm not really even. But like, so okay, so there's Morbius, and then like the Moon Knight thing.
Oh,
I'm
Moon
not
Knight
really
is
interested in-
so. Moon Knight is like my favorite Marvel character. I'm
I
so
never
excited.
heard of him.
Yeah, no,
Call
he's
me a fake fan. But
no,
like,
no,
I've
you're
never
not.
heard of
He's one of those characters that you would never hear of if you weren't into Marvel comics. But he's
him.
one of my.
Yeah,
No, like he's really interesting because he has multiple personalities. So like, it, you know, he's really unique. He's not like the Batman of Marvel. He's very very different. The only similarity really is like they have a cape. Like there's some others.
I,
But,
well, I wasn't really saying that. I was just comparing.
no, I'm
him and
excited.
Morbius.
I'm excited
Like those
for
two
that.
movies, mean, maybe Morbius could be interesting, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because there's a popular team up, which is usually like Ghost Rider, Moon Knight, Daredevil, or like, yeah, or what is it? Ghost Rider, Moon Knight, Punisher.
Oh,
And then you have Punisher, Daredevil, Spider Man. That's a popular team up. I'd love to see any of that.
yeah. Why don't they do that?
They're getting there, maybe. I don't know. I hope they don't. Well, actually, that's another news thing. Is I don't know if you heard this,
Madness.
but the Netflix, all the Marvel Netflix stuff is coming to Disney Plus.
Oh. I don't know, Cody. I think they're bringing out all the guns here. I think they're
Okay.
putting all the stops in.
I think they're setting up. I mean, I'm kind of happy to hear that. To be honest with you, I even if he's not in the movie, there's no doubt going to be some like little background hint to the Joker, just because
They're probably yeah. Dude, imagine Pattinson's Batman with, oh my God, why is his name slipping my mind now? Who just played Joker? Why can't I? Oh my God, it's on the tip of my tongue.
I don't know.
Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah, River Phoenix's
That's why I
brother.
can't. He's got such a. Imagine him, his Joker, with Pattinson's Batman. That might be. That might be up there with Bale and Ledger. But
I have not seen that movie.
wait, you haven't seen the other Joker?
No.
You got to do that. You have to do that.
I mean, it's just not my thing. Joker is like. I like the idea, but at the same time, it's like for me, Joker is dependent on Batman. The character has no origin. The whole point of him is like no one knows who he is. The only reason he exists is to be Batman's villain. Like the whole thing is no one knows his name, his origin, who he is, where he came from. And I know the Joker movie alludes to the ending of like none of it was real anyway, but still, it's like,
I think you should just watch it just for the hell of it anyway.
yeah, I've heard
don't
good
have to do
things.
a
I've seen
podcast on it,
clips, but
All right, so
I
I think for tonight, Derpy, thank you for coming out and spending some time with us.
Thank you.
But it's getting late here on the East Coast, so I think we probably will be back maybe Saturday if we plan on seeing the movie together. Like Telltale series, interesting.
I have not seen him in that.
Stop talking about it.
I have not seen it. I haven't played the Batman Telltale, by the way. I kind of wanted to.
I've seen some clips of it.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I think you'd probably like that kind of game, to be honest. It's up your alley.
Stuck on Skyrim right now.
So we'll probably do it. We'll probably do maybe like a Saturday thing. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, I think if you'll probably find it on our YouTube page, but I think on Instagram, Instagram we'll definitely upload Saturday a little intro podcast episode where we just straight out of the theater reaction. I think probably best to do that.
Yeah, we could do an Instagram live thing too, and do that and get fun with it. But
yeah. All
right, so I guess we'll put Enemy on hold since Batman is so soon.
It's a priority. Yeah, but we'll definitely watch that next.
Yeah, so then we'll do Enemy, and then we could do Lighthouse after that.
Yeah.
So Batman, Enemy, Lighthouse.
Ford versus Ferrari.
Yeah, we'll have to do Ford versus Ferrari.
Well, after Lighthouse. I honestly am really excited to see Lighthouse. So.
Live action Batman year one. All right, so this is pretty exciting stuff.
No, I'm very excited for that. It's what I wanted was gritty, young, vengeful Batman. So very excited.
All right, man.
All right.
So, Derp, thank you for coming out.
Yes,
we really
thank you for joining us.
And we look forward to hopefully seeing you for the Batman stuff and discussing more, and hopefully we can have a more in-depth conversation once we see it. If you actually haven't seen Looper, though.
Yeah, no, Looper's really good.
Got Looper. That was pretty good.
Gave that an 8.3.
So
No, thanks for joining us. Much appreciated. Check out Looper on Netflix if you're bored. It's really, really good. So.
But all right, we'll wrap this up now.
Yeah.
And we will catch you guys in the next one, hopefully on Saturday.
Yes.
All right.
All right. Take care.